Hello and welcome. You are listening to The Hello You Show. I'm your host, Jessica Rice, and the founder of Jessica Rice Coaching. This show is for ambitious and visionary minded women leaders and entrepreneurs ready to uplevel their impact and establish their personal brand and unique voice. It's time, ladies, to make our voices heard. Say hello again to the real you. Hello, and welcome back to the Hello You Show. My name is Jessica Rice, and I am your host. And today I want to talk with you since we're starting out the new year with a bang, with excitement, with new goals, with new dreams, resolutions, is the motivation to keep up with what it is that we're trying to create in the coming months, year, etc. So, what struck me this morning as I was kind of getting ready is this idea of transitioning from kind of one state of being into another. Sometimes I myself find that you just are excited about something, but you're kind of in this funk and you really don't know what it is or why it's there. And this kind of looming presence that you might start to feel. And it hit me that this is really something that I think a lot of us can face, especially when we've set an intention or a goal to accomplish something that might feel somewhat large and even a little bit scary. And if you've already been kind of journeying down a similar path where you're just kind of expanding on this goal, even then, that can be even more challenging because you've already kind of seen the fruits of your labor, so to speak, but they haven't maybe hit as big as you were hoping that they would. And this can be true for either, kind of growing in your career or starting out fresh or growing your business. And so that's kind of what I wanted to into and talk a little bit about because I think it's really important when we start to wonder why we're not making the traction that we were hoping to make. And how do we stick to something without, just giving up? And that's really the key, right? For any goal is to stick to it and to set up ways to be successful. When we create huge goals without real any, action plan behind it, we are not really setting ourselves up for success. And we're not triggering to our brain that this is actually something to pay attention to believe in, to get behind, to be motivated to accomplish. And so we are like throwing mud at the wall, hoping it will stick. And we make maybe a minimal effort, but where there's no planning, there's no outcome, essentially. And the other thing I was thinking about that I also want to talk about is the fact like our energy plays such a crucial role. So if you can recall, towards the end of the year, it's usually a really busy time and there's kind of this ramp up period, whether you're, ramping up your business, you're getting ready for, say, the holidays, or, this is always the time of year too, where project starts really, picking up the pace or trying to meet end of the year quotas. It's going to be a new tax season. There's all kinds of implications involved. And so we're ramping up and we're just kind of going, 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 going. And so there's real no planning that's required for this to take place or to take effect. All we're doing is really just moving because that's what we're told to do. And so our body is keeping up with the pace, but there's nothing that's keeping us, from or keeping us to something. It's not that we have to, it's just our calendar is requiring it of us, or the deadlines are requiring it of us. And so we're just kind of moving forward without real planning or strategy in place. What can then happen is you start to go on this upward slope. And then as you reach kind of the new year, you start making plans, maybe you're excited about it. And then the excitement actually starts to drop. And it's this interesting phenomenon that starts to happen because there isn't the same uptick. There isn't the same level of push, motivation. You're coming off of something that felt, kind of frenzied, so to speak, and you're leaving now feeling less motivated because you're experiencing a little bit of burnout and there's nothing that's constantly pushing you forward. You are now in charge of propelling self. And so if you've asked to achieve something really great, and maybe you were even thriving off of kind of that frenetic energy because you just literally had no time. Now that you have the time, you're wondering what's wrong with you. Why are you not feeling more motivated? Why are you not feeling more excited? And it's because you are now in charge of planning and strategizing and ensuring that you stick with the program. There's nothing forcing you to do it. This is where I think a lot of goals start to kind of fizzle out or fall by the wayside because we don't enact a plan for ourselves to be able to carry it through, which is why it's so important that we start to create finite goals, something that feels tangible and within a short time frame. So even if you have a long-standing goal, that you can then chunk it out, that you can break it down into, 12-week or 3-month cycles so that you can keep it real for you, you can keep motivated, and you can be realistic. It's never going to work if you start cramming everything into, say, the first week. You can do all of this, you make this amazing schedule for yourself, but if it's not doable, it's not sustainable over a long period of time, you're going to find that you again are burning out. But this time it's not because of your work or something else that's pushing you forward, it's just you. And so you have to start building up a way that you can hold yourself accountable and stick to the program and feel like you're making progress every single day. That is where you start to just create a habit and a routine for yourself. And the other problem that we start to face with goals too is that we, in our brain, expect massive change in a really short amount of time. We expect that once we've set this goal, now it's going to come into fruition. Everything is going to be different. It's going to be exciting. And when we start to stagnate out a little bit because goals don't work that way, then we become discouraged or disappointed or frustrated. And those types of emotions start to come in and impact or impede on our progress because we are not allowing the space for our own growth, for that incremental growth. You don't necessarily want things to be in that same trajectory where you're going up a steep hill, you reach the top, and then you crash down. You want to have a steady incline of growth. And then you want it to be sustainable so that you can keep growing. That's our intent, right? When we're setting resolutions, when we're setting real goals for ourselves, real challenges, real things that we're looking to accomplish for our lives in the coming year. So I posted an article about why I don't really believe in writing a resolution, but I do believe in creating a tangible plan for yourself, a roadmap that you can then follow. Because resolutions oftentimes they're just a hope or it's something that we feel like we should put down onto paper. Oh, I hope that this will happen. And so it sounds good and it feels good. And maybe you even start off on the right foot a little bit, but you don't create a plan to keep yourself accountable and successful. So experiencing those emotions and how we start to shift our mindset to stick to it, carry it out for the long haul. Is this something that how do I want to show up as the best version of myself today? And even if I don't feel like it, how am I going to set myself up for success today? I apologize. I've got noise going on in the background, construction. I wanted to get this out and I wanted to record it. Anyway, and so how you set yourself up. And so the other thing is that oftentimes what also keeps us pushing forward is a team, right? We are held accountable by our team. We have to answer to them. We have to be able to speak to what it is that we're trying to create or do or accomplish or meet deadlines or goals for, say, the company, for our team, keep everything going, motivated. And when it starts to become just us, something that we want to do for ourselves, it's a lot harder because we don't really have anyone to talk to about it, or we don't have the infrastructure set up to keep us accountable. And this is why I really recommend that even if you are just starting out, say with a business, that you think about your life and your team differently. You start thinking about, so even if you haven't hired someone yet, who is your team and who is making it possible for you to show up every single day and do the things that are important to you? For me, my team member is my son. He keeps me accountable. As you might know, I homeschool my son. I set up his calendar. We have a flexible schedule. I use tools like Reclaim to help me manage my schedule with my client load. And then our school schedule kind of shifts, and he's all set up with Google Classroom and Outlook, and he has his own Reclaim account. He is my team member. And together, we make our dream work because if he's not on schedule and I'm not on schedule, we're not doing the things that we need to do for that day. If I'm not meeting my deadlines and my time frames for getting work done, and that then impacts our school schedule, we're not getting the things done that we need to for that day. So there's always some way that you can start to look at your life and what it is that you're creating for yourself, even if it's external to your main job, and put it together so that it feels like you are holding yourself accountable and there is someone else that you are also accountable to, whether that's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's another colleague or a coworker, something that keeps you moving forward and accountable. So even though sometimes it's really hard for us to imagine, how do we keep the momentum going? I encourage you to sit down, really start mapping out what that resolution, what that goal is for you, what you're looking to create in this coming year, and how you can start to make a plan for yourself that is realistic and that you can stick to. And then set up tools, set up systems, set up ways to make it easy. It won't, be as fun, it won't be as motivating if you're just struggling every day to find, like, where are you going to wedge in working on whatever it is that you've set your mind to. So really trying to carve out that time, even if it's for 15 minutes every single day, put it onto your calendar. I just started working with a new fitness coach, and I'm really excited about it because I've never really approached it this way. And our first conversation was, I just want you stretching and doing these specific stretches every day so that I can help to balance out my body. And we're going to have her on the podcast coming up soon. I'm very excited. But what it is I set into my calendar twice a day, you need to stretch. I won't remember if I don't do it. I'll think, oh, yeah, later. It'll be an afterthought. So really start to plan in how this works for you. And if you like paper calendars, if you like to write everything down, if you have a planner, find the tools that work best for you. If it's some combination of all of these things, make it work. Set it up as a project for yourself with reminders. My calendar is everything to me. I have 5 calendars converging into one. It has to be this way. And that's how I have to base my life. So everything has schedules, tasks, buttons that they're automated, everything, because it moves. It needs to be flexible and adjustable for me and my lifestyle and what it is that I'm doing. So I hope this is helpful. I just want to get some of these thoughts out because I think it can be really hard on ourselves. And we can really get down about the fact, like, number one, why is it that I don't feel as motivated as I think I should? And that word should, it's always that guilt and shame that carries with it. So erase that word. Just think, okay, even if I don't feel as motivated today, how can I still show up for myself in the best way possible? What's that one little thing that I can do that I can check off to make me feel successful and to tell my brain that I'm being successful because our brain needs that. It needs that reassurance and needs the ability to feel like it's making progress. And that little dopamine hit will be the next thing to carry you through. So, really, just thinking of little ways, even if it's the smallest thing sometimes, it's the thing that can help you move to the next thing and to the next thing. And that's all it is. It's just a series of little check marks. And if you can do that and you break it up over a number of days, now you're working towards this larger goal and you've made it possible and make it easy. Ease into the new year so that it doesn't feel like you are having to train for a triathlon. That might be your goal. But even still, people who are doing this, they're breaking down and they're measuring and they're looking incrementally at every little shift and change that they're doing. And the biggest piece of it is our mindset and how we approach it and how we feel about it. And so when we're having days when we're not feeling as great and we're feeling a little bit down, just find that one little thing. And when you have it down, listed in a calendar or somewhere where you can just say, okay, this is going to take me 5 minutes. This is going to take me 10 minutes. Break it up. Make your life easy. And this way, you can feel accomplished, you can feel successful, you can feel like you have a plan and a roadmap to carry you through the rest of the year and the rest of those big goals that I know that you want to achieve. I hope this was helpful. Please tune in next week. We have some amazing guests who are coming on this year. I am so excited for this season of the Hello You Show. Bye for now.